Robin Hood Season 1, Episode 8, 2025, is a slower, more thoughtful chapter in the series, focusing more on character outcomes than constant momentum. This episode attempts to balance political tension, emotional conflict, and story development. Even if the series hasn't radically reinvented itself, it has managed to refine its central themes and clarify the direction of the season. Robin's portrayal in this episode is intentionally controversial, with the storyline emphasizing Robin's growing insecurities as a leader. From a critical perspective, this approach is effective in humanizing the episode, even if it sometimes slows down the pace. While some of his decisions seem immature and may frustrate viewers expecting strategic genius, they are consistent with the show's intent to present leadership as flawed and costly. Marion continues to be one of the strongest characters in the series. In Episode 8, she is introduced as a politically aware and emotionally grounded woman who makes significant contributions to the resistance movement against the sheriff. Although his role is well written, his potential is underutilized in this episode, limiting his involvement in the central conflict. This hesitation feels more like a missed opportunity than a creative choice. The sheriff remains the most consistent character in the series. His calculated ruthlessness and authority come through effectively, making him a believable and formidable antagonist. However, Episode 8 doesn't add much to the complexity, relying instead on familiar features. This sequence works, but it also fails to allow the characters to grow beyond the established pattern. John is portrayed as stoic and trustworthy, but his character lacks dynamism in this episode. Although his devotion to Robin is clear, his influence on the story is limited as there are no significant objections or disagreements. As a result, his role appears to be more functional than dynamic, as he contributes to the plot without significantly impacting it. The interactions between the criminals create a sense of tension and vulnerability, which intensifies the episode. Conflicts within groups appear rational and believable, reflecting tensions that are always at stake. However, this tension is resolved too quickly, reducing the long-term impact and making the emotional resolution of the episode feel a little rushed. Episode 8's action sequences are less visually ambitious and more restrained in narrative. While this approach supports the story, it may disappoint viewers who were expecting a grand spectacle. The pacing is consistent throughout, but the episodes rely heavily on dialogue, which can dull the sense of urgency at times. This episode emphasizes themes of trust, power, and consequences, using a dark tone that reflects Nottingham's increasing power. Visually, the contrast between the shady interior and the forested open space remains striking. While the thematic focus is clear, this episode could have pushed these ideas further and achieved greater emotional resonance. Overall, Robin Hood, 2025, Season 1, Episode 8 is a competent and thoughtful episode that prioritizes character over spectacle. It develops the story well and maintains consistency in tone, although it suffers from underutilized supporting characters and lack of tension. As a mid- and late-season episode, it works well as a bridge in the story, laying the groundwork for further climactic events to come.